La stagione 2025 di Formula 1 non è iniziata nel migliore dei modi per la Ferrari, ma le cose possono migliorare. La chiave? Migliorare di 10 centesimi di secondo ciascuna delle 10 o 15 fasi chiave della gara, e che includono motore, peso, sospensioni e aerodinamica, per citarne solo alcune. Queste sono le parole di Frédéric Vasseur, General Manager e Team Principal della Scuderia Ferrari, intervenuto a IBM Think 2025, l'annuale appuntamento in cui la IBM presenta le sue novità. Qual è il legame tra IBM e Ferrari? Nonostante negli ultimi anni Ferrari non abbia dato risultati a cui gli italiani sono abituati, la casa di Maranello ha visto moltiplicarsi il numero di tifosi su scala globale, come sentiremo tra poco. Ferrari quindi ha deciso di appoggiarsi alla tecnologia IBM per raggiungere questi tifosi in modo più coinvolgente, rapido e personalizzato. L'intelligenza artificiale e il know-how di IBM nella raccolta di dati da eventi sportivi, ricordiamo che IBM è presente soprattutto nel tennis, facilitano questo compito. Ma vi è una nuova sfida. Negli ultimi 5 anni i fan di Ferrari sono triplicati e hanno conquistato anche altri mercati dove la Formula 1 non era seguita da un pubblico di massa. È il caso ad esempio degli Stati Uniti, dove gli appassionati di motori seguono principalmente le gare della NASCAR. Il fattore principale che ha portato a questa crescita? La serie Formula 1 Drive to Survive su Neflix, iniziata nel 2019 e ora alla 7ª stagione. Netflix non rivela i dati di audience, ma l'emittente sportiva ESPN rivelava che già dopo la 2ª stagione della serie il numero di chi seguiva le gare di Formula 1 era salito ad una media di quasi 930.000 telespettatori, contro i 540.000 del 2018. Questa generazione di nuovi fan però non è come gli appassionati storici che conoscono le caratteristiche tecniche della macchina o le strategie usate in pista. I nuovi tifosi sono interessati alle emozioni dei piloti, a ciò che succede dietro le quinte e agli affari personali dei protagonisti. Ecco in dettaglio come il team Ferrari si sta indirizzando a questi nuovi tifosi e a quelli storici.
I'm really excited to welcome two guests to discuss our collaboration, in this case with Ferrari. Fred Vasseur, who's the team principal of Scuderia Ferrari. Think of him as the person who manages the whole race team. And Shannon Miller, who's the senior partner at IBM Consulting. Fred, Shannon. Good to see you. Shannon. So Fred, thank you so much for being here. And you've certainly built a great team at Ferrari. But for those who don't follow Formula One, could you help the room understand a little bit on Ferrari's unique role?
Yeah, it's true that Ferrari has a not strange but unique position in F1. First, because that I think the brand is iconic in our business and in our industry, but also because Ferrari is in F1 from day one. He's the only team in F1 from day one, and for sure, by the way, the oldest team on the grid. But the other characteristic of the team, I think, is that we have fans or tifosi or whatever, how do you call it, that it's everywhere in the world, and this is something special with the team for sure.
It is interesting. I mean, you've been there from the very beginning, and your founder...
Not me.
Not you. Though it's only been 2 or 3 generations, right? I mean, even in the company. So you use this word tifosi. So even from my own little experience, Ferrari fans are clearly some of the most passionate fans in the world, and even within the different F1 teams. What exactly is tifosi, and why is that term so important?
Well, tifosi is the fans. I went yesterday evening to the basketball, and you have fans in every single sport, but at the end of the day, the difference is probably that we are a bit more Latin than other teams, that we are based in Italy, that with much more passion, much more emotion, and tifosi fans are the signature of the team, that you can go everywhere on the world, on every single track, you will have 50% of the fans for Ferrari. With positive and negative, because they are very emotional. It means that to manage and to and to keep under control, it's a bit more difficult, but it's a good positive energy for everybody into the team, and it's on the day per day, it's helping us.
And you were telling me some of your fans are incredibly into the race, right? They're into the strategy, the curve, the speed, the car, all of that, right?
Yeah, we had what is a bit strange in the journey in F1 is that we have, let's say, two groups of fans today. That we have the I don't want to say the old one. Let's call them the historic one. Focus on racing, probably with a better knowledge of the F1 than myself, knowing about the strategy, the tires, and so. And we have a new groups now coming with Neflix, much more focused on the name of the girlfriend of the driver, and so that. And this for us, but also for you, it's quite difficult to manage because that we need to have two different positions, two different speeches, to have different view on what we are doing for the fans because the expectations are not always aligned between the two groups.
And even though you could get 500,000 people maybe at a racetrack, so they are engaging personally with the race, and as you said, half of them are Ferrari fans, but you have hundreds of millions globally, right?
Yeah, over the world, it's impressive because when you go to Austin, for example, that you have 500,000 over the weekend, probably 50% are with a Ferrari cap, but it's true every single weekend. It means that we have 25 weekends in the season. All over the world, it's true in Japan, it's true in Australia, it's true in Austin or in South America. And this is growing up also, that we have to keep this in mind, that I think the fan base in F1 compared to, I'm not doing a fixation on Netflix, but compared to 5 years ago, perhaps that we tripled the fan base. That is growing up each year. Each race that we have newcomers on the social media and on the fan app. And this is important for us to understand what they are expecting, because I think one of our tasks is to feed them with the good information of what they are expecting, and this is.
So hopefully you're getting a sense when you're tripling your fan base over a few short years and they come from different perspectives, the only way that you're going to be able to deal with them and give them what they want is through data and AI. So coming to that, Shannon, the IBM team has been asked to build a digital experience that exceeds the high expectations of both Ferrari and the Tifosi, whose expectations are even higher. And your team helped launch this application last week, right? Just before the Miami race. Can you give us a sense of what the process was like and what the fans can expect in the new app?
Yeah, absolutely. First, the process was amazing. Our two teams worked side by side in a true partnership. And as Fred said, fan engagement is a huge component of the Ferrari vision. And so what we were looking to do was really take that to the next level. But in order to do that, we really need to understand those fans. So we took a persona-based approach. As you mentioned, there are many different types of fans. And we wanted to do that in a couple of ways. One, we wanted to revamp and create a best-in-class design and personalization in the app. Really, the beauty of the app needed to match the luxury of the brand. And then the second thing we wanted to do, which was really key, was allow for content to be more easily and faster to the fan, right? How could they access it in a faster way? And we did that through what we're calling an AI Race Center powered by Watson X. And it's doing some really cool things. One is an AI race summary. So we're using Gen AI and Watson X to create a race summary in the context and voice of Ferrari to provide to the fans after, around key moments and key features of the race. Data visualizations. As you can imagine, tons of data points coming off the car, coming from the driver. How do we let the fans start to interact with that data? And then third is historical insights, past meeting the present, and some key moments from the past and showcasing that for those fans who may be, I think you used the word historic, and want to go back and see what happened in the past. And a bit of a teaser coming. We're going to start to look into how can we bring some of the stuff going on in the team radio to the fans as well.
So Fred, you began to talk a little bit about data and that the different Tifosis want all kinds of data. And I know that data is also incredibly important to you and the team. Can you help us understand why access to data is going to be so attractive to the fans, to the Tifosi?
Yeah, our business is driven by data. That means that we are not allowed to test anymore. We are always on the anticipation of the next one. We have thousands of sensors on the car. That means to have a proper vision of what the car is doing and what the driver is doing into the car when they are on track. And the target is to do small steps. That what we have to keep in mind is that the difference between us and the car in front of us, average on the season, it's 300 of seconds per lap. It's something like 2 meters a lap. That it means that it's all about details, all about small improvement. You will never have a magic bullet who is doing 0.2 of a second. It means that we have to pay attention to thousands of seconds, and this is driven by data for sure. And if you come back to the Tifosi and fan app, that's when we have to be clever. Is that expectations are different. For the technicians, let's call technicians the historic one, that they want to have details, but at one stage we can't disclose everything. It's where we have to work together to see where is the limit, that what we can disclose and what we can't. We want to give them more than that they can read in the press. It means that we have to go a bit deeper in details. And I think we are trying to go into this direction about the strategy, about the tire degradation and whatever. And for the others, that we want to disclose more about the backstage, but we don't want also to give access to everything. It's where the collaboration is important, because we need to have, and we are doing it through AI now, that we need to have to understand where is the limit each time, to review the information. But I think it's a huge challenge. That it's a new challenge. It's a huge challenge, but it's a good one, because it's the best way for us to attract the fan and to keep them with us.
But just think about the analogies to any of your business. They have sensors. You have many business systems that look at different aspects of the business. Yes, they're reacting in milliseconds or sub-milliseconds. In most cases, you have a bit more time than that. But the analogy to think about how technology has infused every part, and they have literally thousands of sensors, which means thousands of possible controls and adjustments that can be made within the boundaries of what F1 allows, and also what the longevity of the car and all that is. And then you can see why that would be so attractive for the fans to get some knowledge around us. So Shannon, can you give us a look under the hood of the app? It's a full stack solution, so it's got a lot of key technologies.
It does, and frankly, it's very similar to digital platforms that we build for all of the industries that's represented in this room, and it's built on hybrid cloud and AI. But what it's really allowed us to do is build a platform for continuous innovation. Right? What we've launched is just the start. If you think about the app, it's built on a very stable and secure hybrid cloud, leveraging our partners at AWS, at Adobe. And then the second thing it does is it uses watsonx data to talk about and bring all the data that we've talked about together, internal data, external data, past, present, and pull that together and centralize it and serve it up in a way that we can leverage it in the app. And then third is it drives productivity and automation through AI. We use watsonx and the Granite models to take that data and content and turn it into engaging content for the fans. We increase the productivity of the Scuderia Ferrari's content team, allow them to do their jobs better and more efficiently. And then finally, we're expanding that content and translation and giving it in more languages, starting with Italian.
Good step.
Agreed.
Very, very cool. Look, for the room, is it possible to have a cooler job in the world than running the Ferrari race team?
I'm sure that I could find.
So Fred, 18 races to go, if I remember right.
Yeah.
What are some of the key elements that you can share that the team is focused on to get the best out of the car and the driver in the remaining races?
We did the debriefing this morning, because that was with Italian time. It was the afternoon, but it was not a good weekend for us in Miami. We did a poor quali and not a very good race. But at the end of the day, we are speaking about 0.2 of seconds. It means that, and the speech this morning was that, guys, that we have 10 or 15 pillars of performance on the car, the engine, the weight, the aero, the suspension, and so. And the target is to find in each area 100 of seconds. It's not that we will find a magic bullet. And on this one, it's a good motivation for the 1,600 people that we are into the team, just to convince everybody that they are a performance differentiator. Now that last year we had the same story, that we started slowly and we came back 2 years ago also, that I would love to start well and to finish well, but it is like it is. But the motivation from every single team member is crucial. Now we have to do a step, clearly, but I think the potential is there. We have 2 good drivers, we have a good team, that we have consistency, and we don't have to be focused on something, we have to be fully focused on everything.
I love your engineering approach to this. Take the big problem, I got 0.2 of a second, break it down into, okay, here are 20 or 18 pillars. In each one, I want 1/100th out in each race. I mean, I think there's a lot of lessons for all of us who run businesses in terms of the approach, the grit, the persistence.
Yeah, because my business is very emotional. You know that you saw last weekend what's happened with the drivers, and so at the end, we are under the spotlight. They are under pressure when they are driving, and at the end, we have to calm down and to understand exactly where we are when we are missing something. And I think it's probably the most difficult part of my business is to understand where we are weak. You know that it's not lap time. It's okay that where we are missing something. And it's why the debriefing is quite important in my business. But that we have to keep everybody focused, because I think it would be very easy for every single team member to, okay, performance is coming from the others. Yeah. And this is completely wrong, I think, in my business, but it's probably true in your business. Every single team member is a performance contributor. And this is key, and it's the message that I'm trying to push every single day. Pit stop is a good example that we were very weak on the pit stop. We did last year 2,000 pit stop during the season. We lost some mechanics, we stand in it and so, but at the end of the day, today we are the best one. And it's a contribution of 100 of seconds on the race time, but at the end, that matters. 10 times and 100 of seconds, it's tenths of seconds.
So, Fred, Shannon, thank you guys so much for being here, for sharing your stories.
My pleasure.
And I'll say again, probably the coolest job in the whole world.
So, if someone wants to join.
Thank you. Shannon, thank you.